Andy, first and foremost, I think I saw one of the family highlights in the stay-at-home. You guys got a new sponge the other day. How's the sponge?
That was a big day. It was a big day. Yeah, it's doing well.
Good.
What's going on, Colonel?
Hey, sir. How are you?
I wanted to bring by the way, Andy Miller is a fellow Kentucky Colonel, if anybody's wondering. That's kind of a thing between us Kentucky Colonels. We're actually bound to refer to each other by our title. I wanted to bring on the air a conversation we had off air a couple days ago, Andy, with everything going on. And big asterisk and big disclaimer here. Nobody, when people say something like opportunity, it's with an asterisk there. Nobody wants to be in this situation. But from a business standpoint, we had talked early on when things started getting canceled. Everybody talked about it. Wow, eSports. This is really a huge break for them to get into a lot more homes, and a lot of people want that competition. So I called you, and I think I basically said, Andy, why am I not seeing more eSports? And I won't spoiler alert it, but I think your answer was something like, well, dummy, we can't just do it overnight. Give us an update on the difficulties, the hurdles, and where you guys are in kind of, again, I don't want to say take advantage, but you know what I mean, in trying to fill time that people need filled with what you're doing.
Yeah. I think the longer we're inside, literally, the more you'll see it being mainstreamed, if you will. Like, I hate the term mainstream because people love to say, like, when is esports getting mainstreamed? And when is gaming mainstreamed? But, the reality is it's as big as the mainstream already. It doesn't need to be mainstreamed. It's been there for a long time. But a lot of the leagues, like Energy, my org, which owns teams in a lot of different leagues, a lot of those leagues are coming online from a broadcast standpoint. So some, like the Overwatch League and Call of Duty League, have been planned out to have local events. In fact, last weekend was supposed to be our big San Francisco Shock Overwatch weekend at Cal Berkeley, which we sold out there at Zellerbach, which was a bummer. And this weekend coming up was supposed to be a really big weekend in Chicago for our team, the Chicago Huntsmen. We sold like 7,000 tickets for that, for a Call of Duty tournament. And it was the first year of really having local matches. Like, we've got the Kings. You grew up rooting for the Kings in Sacramento. You can grow up rooting for the Shock in NorCal or the Huntsmen in Chicago. But you had to shift all of those schedule of local matches. Call of Duty was mainly North America. But Overwatch, we were to play in Beijing and Chengdu and Seoul and Paris and London. You got to shift those all online. And when you shift online, it's not just shifting into a studio and playing, because we can't do that either, which we've done before. It's literally playing from a team house or the guy's apartments, and then figuring out the whole broadcast and how to put it on professionally. So that's what's been happening over the last, I would say, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Some leagues got there a little faster. Overwatch League just went back online last week. Call of Duty, we haven't officially announced, but it's very, very soon. And now that those broadcasts are going worldwide on whoever our distribution partner is, YouTube, for example, there's been tons of inbound for the leagues from ESPN, ABC, Disney, you name it, people looking for content and wanting to put it on their regular schedule.
Andy Miller joining us here on The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK. Andy, you guys already have your pool of talent, of people that play, that you guys utilize, but how much now, with everybody being in the same situation and professional athletes being at home and now communicating how much they're playing video games and whether they're doing it through Twitch or different outlets that people are following them, is that given a boost to your industry?
Yeah, I think it's made it, visibly a little cooler. The not that, deep secret is that, like, everybody in the NBA plays COD. I mean, everybody in the NFL plays COD or Madden, or you go down the list. So now so that's their outlet, that's their free time. You know, most of the players on the Kings are the same age as the players on my teams.
Sure.
And we get calls all the time. Darren Fox would love to play Call of Duty with Scump, and but now they want to do it instead of to pass time and to decompress from their their busy schedule. They want to do it on their stream, and they want to grow their stream, and they're looking for involvement with a passion of theirs after they're done with their careers. In fact, Energy today we we're creating our own event. So we have a tournament today, our own family tournament, literally across all 8-9 of our teams. We're playing Warzone, Call of Duty, the new Battle Royale game, and we're literally like schoolyard. We're making captains, and we're picking a guy from here, maybe a Fortnite guy, an Overwatch guy, and a COD guy. And DeMarcus Cousins, who's like honorary on our team, is playing as well. And we play games with Marshawn Lynch and his cousins. Marshawn's an investor. So we see it, very frequently.
Andy Miller with us. By the way, when Andy says COD, he's saying Call of Duty, just in case all the boomers out there. Andy, come on. You signed DeMarcus Cousins. Let me ask you. We both go a little far back with him and his crew. Was there a conversation before you signed him, kind of laying out the rules? How has he been in the locker room? Have there been any fines yet? Has he? Did you have to sit him down? Are you guys on the same page?
Yeah, he's been a model citizen, especially with the press. He's been terrific.
So my question is, listen, I know you got Call of Duty and Overwatch and all this stuff. Listen, I don't want to do this to you on the air, but I play a mean bases loaded off of Nintendo One. Is there any talk about forming a Nintendo original bases loaded eSports league? Because if so, I need to know where. Yeah, I'm in, dude. That's a huge signing for you.
That's a career move. I think there probably is a team out there. There's a team for everything. It's really unbelievable. These communities are seriously like what makes esports have such a running chance, and just gaming in general, is that like every game has a community. Just like if you're a basketball fan, you're obsessed with basketball. You consume everything from what you guys do to going to the games, and it's the same. Like if someone's obsessed with that game, they're going to start something, and because of the internet, you can go find 1,000 people playing it, any night, and join the community. And it's actually really kind of heartwarming in these times where everyone's sort of by themselves.
Dave, you said it. Nintendo. I'd need Atari. If you have an Atari league, Andy, then I'm in.
Jungle Hunt.
Yes, exactly. Pitfall.
I'm even older. When I was growing up, it was like ColecoVision and Television. Television had the best football. That was why everyone bought that one.
Oh, dude, in Television, where you'd have to put the little plastic sheets into the controller.
Yep.
Depending on the game. Last thing for you, and by the way, for those of you listening, if you are thinking of dabbling into, this is a different audience, if you're thinking of dabbling into esports, you want to root for Energy for a lot of reasons, not only the fact that they're local, but we introduced Andy as an owner at NRG, but he's an owner along with Mark Mastrov, Kevin Nagel's on there, a few others that we know. Those are all King's minority owners, so we've kind of got a family thing going on right now. And before we go, I want to kind of come back, because I think what we've established is that it's not just as easy as flipping on the video game and streaming. There's a lot of back end, but now you guys are catching up, and we're going to see a lot more of that coming, for lack of a better term, mainstream. That mainstream comment is going to lead me to my last question to you. You're 100% right, and obviously you're in the business when you say you kind of roll your eyes at mainstream, because the numbers, I think a lot of people don't realize, show that it's mainstream is behind you guys. You're ahead of that. Top of your head, I won't hold you to it, but could you, just so people have context, throw out some of the numbers, and then we can kind of see how those compare favorably to a lot of events in your mainstream sports going on right now? They're really staggering when you lay them out.
Yeah, it depends on the game. So the biggest of them all is League of Legends. And they have when they get to their championship, it's a world championship. So it's regionalized. There's North America and Europe and Asia. And as they move on towards the finals, Oh, you still there?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, got you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So League of Legends Championship, like in China last year, the year before, the finals were at the Nest, which is where they had the Olympics. They had like 80,000 people watching. They had another like 30, 40,000 people outside in like beanbags watching on big screens. And the worldwide viewership was 70 to 100 million people.
Okay, so I want to stop you there as we go, because I wanted the context. So just for context, the Super Bowl last year, not counting who was watching, in person, but streaming by itself. The Super Bowl had 100 million with streaming, 112 million overall, and the number you put out there was what, like 70, 80 million plus everybody in person. So that's when you talk about mainstream. And by the way, second was the AFC Championship at a total of 54 million. So that event you're talking about right now, the Nest, people will remember from the Olympics in Beijing, that huge stadium. You're already dominating in some events the second highest watched sporting event of the year, that AFC Championship at 54 million people. That's why Andy rolls his eyes at mainstream. You're already there, but I'm sure you being one of the owners, you wouldn't mind having a few more eyes and ears.
Yeah, absolutely. Every game's different. That's the biggest one. You can, move down, to different size audiences. But our regular season matches for Call of Duty and Overwatch, we have a season. It's no different like an NBA season, 28 games, and there we get 100,000, let's say, concurrents watching. That means 100,000 people watching every minute. And during the course of a game, that's many hundreds of thousands of people watching over that one game. And then just compare that to the average size of a nightly Kings game or a Giants game. It's really significant, and it's obviously a crammed in demo of 15 to 30-year-olds. But 35-year-olds. I'll say the misnomer is a lot of people think it's 15-year-olds at home watching on stream. The average age of almost all these outside of Fortnite, which everyone knows is really young, the average age of the real eSports fan is around 27 years old.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
Andy, this was great. It was good to catch up with you. Good luck with everything. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we really do appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. Talk to you soon, Dave.